Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of my Dental A Team family. I seriously love doing this podcast. I thought I was going to hate it, and I love it. I love it so much because I get to connect with you. I get to hear how this podcast is helping you and your practice be better. So if you have loved this podcast and you are willing to share, I would greatly appreciate if you'll share with your friends, if you'll leave us a review, if you'll give us 5 stars, anything you can do. Just like you guys grow your practices, we're trying to grow this podcast to positively impact the world of dental. This is how we get to grow our Dental A Team family. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental A Team podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
2 perspectives, 1 mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and today, I am so happy somebody finally took my advice. They actually reached out to me and said, Kiera, I have a topic for you. So this is going out to the person who reached out to me. If I could Venmo you $10 right now, I would. So this is going out to you. You asked me, what can you do with team members who don't want to do their job? I maybe shouldn't have asked you guys to send in your suggestions because this is a hard topic. What do you do with team members who don't want to do their job? Wow, that's deep. How often does this happen to you? Oh, it's like the bane of my existence when I was an office manager. Trying to motivate people to do something they don't want to do. High five. Welcome to the hardest part of being a human being. This is it. So let's dive into this. Here's just some quick tactical, practical ideas that you guys can implement. Try them out. Let me know. I personally don't believe that there is a magic secret to this. I think it's kind of trial and error. So I'll give you some ideas. Try them out. Let me know what ones work for you. So when a team member does not want to do something, I think the first thing you should do is find out why. Talk to them. Hey, Kiera, let's talk about this. Like, I can see you don't want to do fluoride. You don't want to recommend fluoride to patients. Let's talk about it. Why? There's always a reason why. Let's see if we can find a solution. I believe there's always a solution. Our office goal is that you're at 85% fluoride acceptance. You're kind of anti this. Let's talk about it. Why? When you can figure out why they don't want to do something, and you guys, I dive into this. I get real nitty gritty. I talk to people about it. Also, sometimes you have to remember the way we see ourselves is awesome. Human nature is to see ourselves in a very positive light. Regardless if you want to admit it out loud to yourself or not, true human nature is we typically think we're better than we really are. That's okay. That's good. We need to have those egos. They feed us. They do really well. So you guys, I think I'm a really dang good consultant. I got some good feedback from somebody that I was missing the mark on a certain thing. I can't tell you how much I appreciate when people give me that feedback because otherwise I don't know how I come across to other people. In my mind, I think I do a great job. I think I talk slow. You guys tell me that I don't talk slow. Like, how do we present to the world? It's different than what we think we are in our minds a lot of times. So find out with this team member what their thing is and go right into it. Hey, Kiera, this is going to be one of those combos. It's kind of awkward for me to talk to you about. I don't want you to think that I'm having anything negative with you at all. I think you're great at what you do. It's really uncomfortable for me to have this conversation with you, but I want to find out, why are you struggling with X? What is your reason for it? Let's talk about it. There's always a solution and I want to find it. So finding out why. Next thing is, were you clear with your expectations? Does this team member actually know what the expectations were? Or do you think and assume that you gave that team member the clear expectations? Sometimes people don't realize that you haven't given clear expectations. They thought that you guys were on the same page, but you weren't. So maybe you thought you told them that they're supposed to have the schedule full 85% of the time. Well, what they heard is that the schedule is just supposed to be full. They didn't realize full means up to X amount production. They thought they had it full 85% of the time because there was no white space in the schedule. And you're like, no, we're missing goal every single day. You have crown seats left and right. That's not good. That wasn't clear expectations. So figuring out, making sure that your expectations were crystal clear. After that, some people in this world are salty. It's okay. If you're a salt and vinegar fan, raise your hand. It's cool. It's okay. Some of us just don't want to do things. Finding out why, but then also making sure that that team member is in the right seat in the right place. Referring back to my favorite book, you guys, Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business. If you have not listened to that podcast where I talk about the EOS meetings, make sure you listen to that. That was a fantastic episode. I think you guys will love it. So is this person, right seat, right office? That's a really, really valid question. Sometimes when people are resisting so much, they're not at their dream job. They're not happy. They're not making patients happy. They're not making the team happy. And even though it's hard for us to objectively look at this person, sometimes you've got to get down to it. So pull out your core values. What are your core values? Remember, mine are the fire, fun, integrity, results, delivering more value than we expect, and it's of ease. Do my consultants fit my core values? Yes or no? And I give them a rating on a scale of 1 to 5. Are they fun? Not really. Are they full of integrity, or do they tell me one thing and tell clients another thing? I'm not sure. Do they follow through with their word? Are they, when they tell me they'll do something, do they actually act upon it? Scale of 1 to 5. I'll tell you guys, Kaylee is a 5. And when she doesn't, she owns it, she fixes it, and she's right there. She is a solid 5. Do they get results delivering more value than I expect, delivering more value than our clients expect? Booyah, yeah, 5. Or no, they give like a 1. Be honest with yourself when you're rating these people. I say on a scale of 1 to 5, no 3s, choose your side. It's either good or it's bad. Take your pick. You need to be able to see this. For mine, are they ease? Do they make my life easy? Do they go above and beyond? Do they find solutions, or are they constantly coming to me with problems? Scale of 1 to 5, where do they fit? You have your own office core values. And if not, guess what? Stop right now, write your core values, get those busted out. Figure out your core values, because when you have core values and you know what your company should look like, the people that are on your team, what they should look like, it is then very easy for you to objectively look at them. Do they fit your culture? Are they the right person, the right seat, the right office? This is a very clear way for you to figure out when team members don't want to do something, that you can find out, are they right for this place? Then if not, you can have that conversation with them. Like, hey, do you actually like coming to work every day? Because based on our core values, how do you think you rate? You've already rated them. See how they view themselves. Do they think they're awesome and they're so easy peasy lemon squeezy? And you're like, oh my gosh, every other day I have to talk to you about being on time and wearing gloves, and right? That's not an easy person. So seeing what they see themselves as can really give you some clarity. And that way you can objectively look at them, talk to them, and set goals. That might be why they're not doing things. They actually hate being there. I say that life can come into play. There are some really, really, really good reasons why life can come into play. But I also believe that for the bulk, we can leave life at the door and we can pick it up when we leave. Life can impact. Life can be something that we do. We do give some compassion to. However, a lot of times life's just an excuse because they don't want to be there. And later on, I just recently had an employee that had this. A couple weeks prior, they had all these life things. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Here you go. And then the next thing I know, they're like, this isn't really what I'm wanting to do. Typically, it's a symptom of a bigger problem. Remember, what people show on the outside is usually just a symptom of a deeper underlying problem. Let's find out what that deeper underlying problem is. Lastly, my piece to this is number 4. This is the 4th item. When somebody doesn't want to do their job, they're not motivated, making sure that they're educated and they feel comfortable. A lot of times with hygienists, I find out the reason they don't want to talk about fluoride or SRPs are not because they don't believe in it. They're totally on board with it. They love it. They're 100% on board with it. But what they're not on board with is they don't know how to talk to patients because they don't know how to figure out if insurance covers it or not. And they haven't mastered the verbiage of what to say with that. So there's a fear piece. There's a fear factor. And that's why they don't want to do their job, because there's something that they're not sure of. You guys, I used to always hate having kid profies on my schedule. I hated it. I did not want to do kid profies. When I was in Utah as a dental assistant, there's a lot of LDS families. It's fine. My family was the same way, 7 kids. They would pack these kids into our schedule, and I would have to have 6 of them in a block schedule of all these kid cleanings. And I'm like, I'm not a hygienist for a reason. I don't enjoy doing this. But guess what? My job is to be the dental assistant. Find how I can be happier in that spot. Find how I can be the best, because the way I do anything, I believe, is the way I do everything. It's not 100% true, but I feel like it's a pretty good line for right now. So I just did it, even though I didn't like it. But I found out the reason why I didn't like it is because I felt like I didn't know how to scale, and I'm not allowed to scale, and I didn't know what to do with those patients. Also, you guys, I wasn't 100% trained on coronal polishing. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing to be good. They just told me, just go in there and like polish their teeth. I felt like I was not doing a good job on these patients, and that's why I really hated it. I also hated taking x-rays. That was just something I did not enjoy doing. It was so many x-rays to take. End all be all though, I was fine. I could do it. But those are my reasons for why I didn't like to do it. Had we maybe talked about it, or maybe we rotated. So, okay, Kiera, you get to do the kid prophies Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The other days, Robert gets to take them Tuesdays, Thursdays. So that way you don't always have to do the kid prophies. Sweet. That feels like a huge solution. There was a solution right there. What's the compromise? And then this is another great piece that you can do with these team members. So for me, for example, if I'm the team member who doesn't want to do these child prophies, even though they're in my schedule, I'm a dental assistant, I'm a team player, I fit really well on the core values. You can ask me like, hey, Kiera, like, let's talk about these. I know you don't want to do it. What would you recommend is a solution? This is that pose. If we pose a problem, we have to propose a solution. So that can be another area where, what would you recommend, Kiera? What would you do as a solution for this? How would you recommend fixing this problem? People say, I don't know. I'll be like, no. There's always a solution. Let's find it together. What are we going to do for this? That way we can find the solution, and they can help build the solution. They'll realize it's not always easy to come up with solutions if they have to come up with the solution as well. Lastly, my last advice for this faithful listener, the one who asked me what to do with a team member who doesn't want to do their job. The last thing I would recommend is, are you doing self-assessments every single month? Are you having this person grade themselves or assess themselves? I think that feels better. Assess themselves on a scorecard. Have you built a scorecard for them of the things you expect of them? And do they grade themselves, rate themselves, assess themselves? There we go. Assess themselves, and you assess them, and you meet with them every single month. This is one of the fastest and easiest ways to fix negative behavior, is by checking in with them every single month on an assessment scorecard. You evaluate, they evaluate, you come together, you assess what it was. This is seriously one of the easiest ways to work with somebody who's not doing it. It's a set time every single month where every single person knows that they're meeting, that they're talking about it, and this is a space where we're going to discuss these issues. Those would be my suggestions for you. Find out why. Why? Ask them, why are you having a hard time with this? Other ideas, you can make sure that you've given clear expectations. Have you been crystal clear? Have you given them the tools and the resources to make sure they can do the job and the tasks you're asking for? Have you done that? If not, that's a great area to work on. Then also having them come up with solutions with you. It's a great area to do it. Also assessing, do they fit the core values of the company? Are they the right person, right seat, right office? And the last idea is, are you doing self-assessments with that team member? Team members, if you're out there frustrated with some of these things, if you're the one who's having a hard time, who doesn't want to do a job, look at it. Are these things being in place in your practice? Is it your dream job? Is that where you want to be? Office managers, are you doing these things with your team? Please do not fool yourself in thinking these things are not important. Oh, I'll just brush it aside. Remember that episode? If you haven't listened to it, it's one of our best on the Dental A team. It's one of our top downloaded episodes where Mark and I talk about the urgent versus the important. These things are important. Having a good team culture, making sure all team members want to do this, super important. It's not urgent. There's a lot of more urgent things that'll take up your time. These things are important. All right. I hope that helped you. I really do. I appreciate you asking for help. Let us know. Try these things out. Honestly, I want to hear. I want to hear if these work for you. Because if they're not working, they're just pie in the sky ideas that actually don't have meaning or weight. So there's your guys' action items for today of what to do with team members who don't want to do their job. Thanks so much for listening. I'll catch you guys next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.